And our show this morning will get a little more interesting with Jeff Kerr. Jeff Kerr is set to join us right now. He's in the green room. Let's bring him in here. You can follow him at Jeff Kerr, PHL. Jeff, welcome to the program this Monday morning, my friend. How are you doing for another week of Birds 365 on the horizon?
Pretty good, Zander. By the way, John, you are correct. Last tight end the Eagles did draft in the first round was Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson, that's 2 for 2. I got last franchise tag too.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah. 2 for 2 right off the bat. Zander didn't give me a heads up. So I'm off to a good start. I'm not going to bat at 1,000 though. So I think I'm going to get something wrong as we move forward, probably pretty quickly. We do have the Disney tree. I'm going to say that every week. It's still up. I love it.
Yeah, the Disney tree is going to stay up for a while.
When Jody was hosting, used to be Mike Gillen's T-shirts. Now it's going to be your Disney tree.
Yeah. Over under April 15th.
I'm going to go full year. Why not keep it up?
Yeah, I might just keep it up. Keep it up.
Jeff's got a new companion in the Disney tree he'll be keeping up.
Hey, and Mick Foley, the famous wrestler, is now retired. He loves Christmas so much that he keeps his Christmas stuff all year round.
The one display in the back is actually like a Disney Village. So that stays up all year. So the tree might as well just stay up. There's a railroad below it you guys can't see.
Nice. There we go. All right. Now, we started the show with when the Rams hire their offensive coordinator. That will make 21 new offensive coordinators in the NFL, Jeff. 21. That's 65% of the league. Can we just stop talking about continuity and offensive? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist unless you have a head coach who calls plays and the guys like McVay and Shanahan. But guess what, Jeff? They're all shitty game managers. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So what do you want? As a fan, what do you want? I love the concepts, but you're blowing games because you're delved into your concepts, or do you want a constant turnaround and maybe the ability to win in a different fashion? I've been for years, I've been a CEO coach guy. And I love the John Harbaughs, the Mike Tomlins, those are Dan Campbell. Took over play calling, shouldn't have. He'll go back to being a CEO coach. Nick Sirianni here. On and on and on. That's always what I've always been. And it came from talking to Tom Coughlin years ago. And I asked him the question. He was the best one. Tom Coughlin told me. Because it's so backward to me. So I asked him, I go, why do guys feel they come in, they have to call plays, offense, defense, versus be a CEO coach? Because I was asking him, he started as a defensive guy who became a CEO coach. And he said, you have to prove yourself in the building first. And then you can become the leader that you want to become. But boy, that seems backward to me, Jeff. Where are you on the CEO coach versus he's got to call the plays?
I mean, to me, it all comes down to, can you win games or not? And it seems a lot of the CEO coaches know how to win. You mentioned John Harbaugh. I don't ever remember John Harbaugh ever calling plays either way because he was a special teams guy.
That's why never did. Yeah, never did.
Yeah, and remember that was at the time it was considered okay. We understand the Andy Reid coaches are going left and right, but his special teams coach, like what do the Ravens see that we're not seeing? Well, I guess they found out right away when he's taking the rookie quarterback to the AFC Championship game. So, I don't mind the CEO coach thing either. And I always hate how they have this debate now if Nick Sirianni is a good coach or not. What are we doing here? He wins 69% of his games. Last time I checked, that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy from the standpoint of, and again, the Rams are the only open job, so that's probably going to go to Shieldhouse. But if you look at every 21 teams change, some out of necessity, guys get hired, guys get promoted, some fire because they perform poorly. But it is that NFL mentality. If you think about these guys, Brian Daboll, he was the head coach with the Giants. He was the in Buffalo. Mike McDaniel, head coach with the Dolphins. Eric Bieniemy, longtime offensive coordinator going back to the Chiefs, was with the Bears, never got the head coaching chance. Got even lesser known guys. Drew Pensing is now with the Lions. He was the Cardinals offensive coordinator. Bobby Slowick interviewed here. He was the offensive coordinator in Houston. Now he's the Dolphins offensive coordinator. The two, Tommy Rees followed Kevin Stefanski down to Atlanta. Zach Robinson moves from Atlanta to Tampa Bay. It's freaking hilarious. But the two young guys, maybe three, you count Declan Doyle, but he was, he was, Ben Johnson was grooming him, but obviously he's not going to call plays there, and he goes to Baltimore. He'll get the call plays. But the two young guys are both in the NFC East. Both like, what? David, and they both went the right in the same situation. David Blau, backup quarterback, nobody, and they say, wow, this guy's really sharp. Let's keep him. Let's make him the offensive coordinator. And Sean Mannion, longtime third-string quarterback. This guy's really sharp. Let's make him the offensive coordinator.
Do you remember when David Blau started that Thanksgiving game a couple years ago when they were raving about like how quickly he picked up everything?
Yeah, well, yeah. I remember people raving about him, but he wasn't a very good quarterback. It's interesting. It's like backup catcher in baseball as we ram up. You never see the backup catcher is always the manager down the road. You never see the star become the manager. You do, but it generally doesn't work. Same thing in the NFL. Now it's like, it's not the star quarterbacks. It's more the backup quarterbacks who just hang around and hang around and hang around because they're so smart. And I think Washington and the Eagles are going to be really interesting just from the fact that these guys are basically straight off the field, running offenses in the NFL. What does that tell you?
That they want the most modern design they can. I mean, that's where I'm going with. I mean,
what it tells me, Jeff? Modern designs are pretty freaking simple.
Well, they are.
What it tells me.
Well, don't you think that's why defense is starting to kind of take over again?
Yes. I'm surprised. I never thought we'd see the day this would be.
All the changes they've made for the offenses and the defense are still the ones prevailing.
Yeah.
I think, and it's like what you pointed out too, John, like Vic Fangio's defense, how much has it really changed over the past? I mean, it's evolved, but the basic principle, how much has it changed since when he was with Carolina? That was 30 years ago.
Yeah. It's funny. I asked Vic that question and Vic was like, he didn't want to get too deep into it, but he did admit, and I remember him saying, not that much. I asked him how much has it changed since people started copying him, and he said not that much. He admitted that, which I was a little surprised by. But I think it shifts depending on personnel. So that's what I think, and you saw that with Sean McVay and on the offensive side this year. Good coaches shift depending on their personnel, and I think people think their scheme shift. No, they're just trying to take advantage of their better players inside their schemes, which I think is the trick. But that's my perspective on it. But I never thought we'd see the day. And I heard an interesting, I think it was Nate Tyson mentioned it. I mentioned it last week on the show. Protection is the problem. And I kind of agree with him. Like for all the offensive problems, it's basically modern defenses get the third and long and just, create chaos that people can't pick up. And I think that's what's going on. So I think the next adjustment for the offensive side of the ball is figuring out protection against that chaos. And how do you do that?
They should do less 7-on-7s when they're growing up and all this, and actually
Yeah,
develop
but how do
offensive
you
linemen.
how do you do that? How do you do that? Because you can't.
Well, look what the Patriots are going through right now with Will Campbell. Everybody wants him to move him inside, and all of a sudden the short arm talks back. I'm like,
I know.
I kind of like Vrabel defending him, saying, no, he's our left tackle.
He had a good rookie season, but and he got hurt. I'm not sure how much the injury affected him. Hopefully it's the injury. I say that about Drake May as well, because they were so bad in the playoffs. You hope it's the injury. And the same, not as high profile with Will Campbell, but you hope it's the injury because he looked bad.
I can't think of a player that had an MVP type year like Drake May had, and then you just completely bomb in the playoff. A recent memory.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kurt Warner wasn't great in the 99 playoffs, but then he turned it on again. No, I shouldn't say that. He was good in the divisional round too. But remember in the NFC Championship game, people couldn't figure out why Kurt Warner was struggling. But I'm like, I thought a lot of it had to do with Dungy, but
he's a human being too. But
exactly. Warner did throw for 400 yards in that Super Bowl. So
yeah,
which by the way, that's one of the more underrated Super Bowls of our time.
Well, I think the best Super Bowl is the Malcolm Butler Super Bowl. So that was the first Patriots Seahawks, at least from what the NFL, the key to the NFL, which I was just talking about. You can watch 58 minutes of bad football, but as long as you have the great ending, everybody thinks they saw the greatest game ever, which I think they had it with Butler and Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll getting shit on. That to me. Well, at least it's the best one I was at, so I'll say that by a wide margin. There's so many good Super Bowls in the early days, but modern, trying to think of Super Bowl 52. Locally was because it was people like offense. That was,
and it was back and forth. There wasn't a lull in any part of that game.
I saw Kelsey was on Gronk and Edelman's podcast talking about it. It was like, man, we threw for 505. Jim Schwartz is still pissed off about that. They won the Super Bowl. He's still pissed off. It was just a 7, and that's what Edelman said. It was a 7-on-7 game.
Jim Schwartz had a top 5 defense that year. People forget that.
Yeah, he was not happy. He's the only guy not happy. They won the Super Bowl. He's the only guy not happy. But yeah, it's tough. To say which one is the best. But I agree with your point about Drake May. When you play, and he deservedly was second in the MVP race. It's not like it's crazy that people voted for him. He had a great regular season. It's a regular season award. But man, he was just bad in the playoffs. They're just bad. And it's hard to explain other than the injury. So from a Patriots perspective, I would be hopeful it was injury related because it's hard to accept that slide back into where he was.
But I'm concerned with the Patriots is too. They don't strike me as a team that's going to be good next year.
Either they don't strike me as they did not strike me as a Super Bowl team. Credit where credit's due. They got through it. You can only play who's in front of you, but they don't seem to be built to be consistent.
I still think that's part of the reason why Buffalo overreacted the way they did. I don't think they should have, but maybe they saw, and I know there was a power struggle in there, but maybe overall they're looking at the situation as, okay, we had as good of a chance as anybody with Lamar and the Ravens out, with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs out. We can go. We can be the 6th seed and go to win the Super Bowl, and just didn't do it. They blew it.
Yeah, well, I agree. Buffalo, and it's tough for me. I still can't get over 13 seconds with Sean McDermott, but I can get over the fact that I can get past it to point out it's a pretty good coach, and the odds that Joe Brady's going to be as good a head coach as him are pretty small, I would say. So I agree. It was a little bit of overreaction, but he's been there a long time, and shell play is his thing in the NFL. And if you don't get over the hump long
Unless you're
enough,
the Bengals, then they always seem to keep coaches longer than they should.
well, they're cheap and they don't want to pay another guy.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis, but I always say be careful what you wish for. Look at Cincinnati before Marvin Lewis and after. Marvin Lewis. Brutal. And they went to the playoffs every year, 6 years in a row, I think, and lost in the first round, which obviously is going to get you fired, and ultimately got Marvin Lewis fired. But people don't grade on a curve. In Cincinnati, you got to grade on a curve. Like, that's why Joe Burrow's so good. To get that team, to get that organization to the Super Bowl with their 4 scouts, that's pretty freaking impressive.
They're amazing how they operate. They just don't want to spend money.
No, it's awful. I feel bad for Cincinnati fans because that's the one part of the game there is no salary cap. You can do whatever you want. If you're an owner and you truly want to win, you can build up a better support staff than everybody else. And that's what, for as good as Howie is, look at how much help he has versus Cincinnati.
That's why when the Eagles eventually do decide to build a new practice facility, it's going to be the best practice facility of all time.
Yeah, I can't believe they don't have a new practice. I can't believe it.
I'm still shocked. Yeah.
You go to these new facilities, and most recently down in Miami, when we were down there a couple of years ago, that thing is beautiful. The Jets, beautiful.
I've been to 4: Giants, Jets, Ravens, Eagles, and the Giants and Jets, like, they run circles around the Eagles.
Oh, the Jets, the Jets is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants is just plain, but it works. Yeah. I mean, it's adjacent to this. Here's the thing, John. When they eventually do build one, are they going to build it next to the stadium? Whenever they get the stadium thing?
That's why they don't have one. And they have all that space with the Naval lot right next to the NovaCare complex, but the city owned. Evidently the city won't give it to them. Look, people won't like it, but I've advocated for years. Jeffrey's got to go to the suburbs, man. He's got to get one of these sweetheart deals.
The Ravens do that.
Where would he go, though? What suburb would he go? I mean, he'd go to Jersey is where he would probably end up going.
Probably, but
yeah. I mean, there's land in King of Prussia, that area. I can say
that. That's true. I can't imagine the Eagles Stadium being in King of Prussia, but that's maybe that's.
No, I couldn't either.
No, they're not going to move the stadium out of Philadelphia. I don't think, but the practice facility's got to move out. In my opinion, it's got to go. Even the Sixers, went to Jersey with their practice facility, and they have a gorgeous practice facility.
Yeah, right. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
We were talking. I was talking about this a couple of times with some players, and remember, John. It was not last year. I guess it was 2 years ago when the whole NFLPA thing. They were going to have like podiums in the middle of the thing, and we were joking. I was joking with a couple of players. Where are you going to have it here? Like, there's no room. Like Baltimore, there was room. Cleveland, there was room. Where's it going to be here? Like, it's already congested in the middle.
Yeah. At some point, though, it becomes a competitive disadvantage. It really has. I mean, some of these teams we talk about with these gorgeous facilities stink. I mean, they've been able to stay above with a downgrade in facilities. Interesting. We're having this discussion with, the NFLPA report cards getting shelved from a public standpoint, which is awesome, by the way, because the owners are so butthurt. Oh, God forbid somebody judges them on their shittiness of the way they treat the players.
There was actual visual evidence of how cheap Michael Bidwell is.
Yeah. So, but the part that's ironic, that the information's still going to get out. It's still going to be leaked, and it's going to be worse for the owners, but they have no clue. But I've always thought at some point it's going to be a competitive disadvantage for the Eagles when you go to these other sites and you see them and you see how advanced they are and it's just a nice place to work. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, that's way down the list and it hasn't really impacted them to this point. So I guess that's why there is no urgency.
I feel like before, when you actually had to bring free agents in and take them on visits before they agreed to a deal or not, it was a bigger deal. Oh, look at our facilities. Look at our stadium. Look at this. Look at that. Now it's just call. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, all the deals are done before March 13th. So it'll be all the deals will get done over the phone. You're right, over Zoom.
Do you miss that process, John? Like, remember how big of a deal it was when
I don't miss it being at midnight. Like way back, it started at midnight, and you have to stay up all night because guys would be making.
But do you remember like when I know you were covering the Vikings at the time, but when the Eagles brought in Asante Samuel, and you heard at like 8 a.m, I know, like you said, free, but Asante Samuel's going to fly into Philly and he's going to make a visit, and remember all the cameras would follow him, and it was like baseball in a sense.
Yeah, there were big. I remember the Kirk Cousins. That he was in the Jets, and then he was in Minnesota, and they're showing the flights and blah blah blah. And boy, that was and we know in the corporate world today, I mean, that was an obvious cost cutting.
Yeah,
I mean, flying guys around on private jets is not the best way to do business, but it was. I think it was more. There was more style to it when they did that versus, hey, so-and-so, then leaking the phony contract numbers. Oh, 50 million. That's what we get now. Just the bullshit contract numbers, which everybody takes as gospel.
I mean, it was fun back at the time, though. Like, just seeing guys come to remember when the Eagles were trying to get T.O., that was a big thing. Like, oh, well, he didn't file his paperwork, so now he has to get traded, and he can't go to where he wants to go because he publicly made it like, no, I'm going to the Eagles. I'll find a way to get to the Eagles, and he got traded to the Ravens first.
Yeah. That honeymoon lasted for 1 year. That's it.
Yeah.
So be careful with
I still like to tell people about that story when people like to just get on McNabb about, oh, he was out partying the night before the Super Bowl. Well, who said that? Well, T.O. did. Okay, who else?
I missed the party. There's two stories you're going to hear. The Olympics story that everybody's having sex. Everybody. Yep. You always get that story.
Yeah, you always hear that.
They ran out of condoms at the Olympics because these people can't control themselves. You always get that story. And you always get the story of the back in the old days of so-and-so went out partying before the Super Bowl. That was a big Brett Favre story, who probably was out partying before the Super Bowl, but I digress.
The Raiders were out partying before they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, man. The Raiders, yeah. Oof. Who was that center? I forget his name.
Barrett Robbins?
Barrett Robbins, yeah. Thank you. Good pull. Yeah, every year. That was a Super Bowl staple. The partying player story. They've kind of buttoned that up in this. But that Barrett Robbins story was crazy. He was a good player too.
We had like no story. I mean, there were storylines when the Eagles played the Chiefs, but none of that stuff.
No. Boy, I'm trying to look up the Barrett Robbins stuff. He was reported as missing for most of the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, remember Saturday night he went missing.
Yeah. Crazy.
I said, well, if you're a gambler, just put it all on Tampa now. And I was 14 when that happened.
Yeah, and he was like I said, he was a good player, but yeah, there's some crazy stories. He evidently had bipolar disorder, and so he had some issues, but
that's still the most heartbreaking loss in my lifetime watching the Eagles when they lost to the Bucs at the Vet the last game. Seeing Rondé close that place down.
Rondé, yeah.
remember that.
Or how did you take your? Because you're a Penn State guy, Joe Juravicious. That's a
well, Joe Juravicious was always killing the Eagles. He killed them when he was on the Giants, so I was kind of used to it at that point.
Yeah, Joe Juravicious, bringing up some bad memories. We're gonna get.
I still remember sitting in the end zone on that play, and you see Barry Garner just trip, pretty much. And I'm like, and you could hear a pin drop when that happened. Oh, by the way, it was still a close game when that happened, but that was like the first time the Bucs were able to do anything in that game.
You think the Barbers are Hall of Famers?
Well, Rondé's in, right?
I know. I don't think they are. Yeah, he's in. I
don't think Tiki is. I think Tiki was a really good player. I thought Rondé was a really good player, but I don't know.
He's a cover 2 guy. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, I just think they want to put a lot of players on that Bucs defense in the Super Bowl. Did Simeon Rice ever get in?
No. Sapp's in. Lynch is in now.
Brooks is in.
Yeah, Brooks
was the best player on that defense.
Brooks was the guy. Yeah, Sapp was really good too.
I like how people like to rip on Booger McFarland though, because he's on TV a lot. I'm like, Booger McFarland was pretty good on that defense. Wasn't a star,
I don't mind Booger on TV. Jeff, I have an Eagles question for you here. Jalen Carter is extension eligible. Are you giving Jalen Carter an extension this offseason, Jeff?
I think you have to, don't you?
Oh, you don't have to.
I'm not giving him an extension. I don't know if he's healthy, but I don't have that information.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy I saw last year was not the guy
we saw 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, why not wait? I'd wait.
You wait on Jordan Davis and it's going to work out for you.
But, I mean, you got to try. I think it comes down. You got to trust your medical people. If they say he's good, he's going to be fine. Then I think you extend him. Same thing with Cam Jurgens last year. People are like, why extend him?
So how much of the decline in play this year do you put on the injury versus other factors?
I'd go the injury.
I hope it's the injury, similar to Drake May. I hope that's what.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Here's the other conundrum you got in there. After next year, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are eligible. Yeah. So you got to think about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to be careful with Cooper and Quinyon. I'm pretty confident they're going to keep their status. But we were having these discussions about Nolan Smith because he had such a great ending to the Super Bowl season. He played so well. It's like, where are you going to have to extend Nolan? Well, no, you're not. And in fact, I think if it goes the way it's going and you re-sign Jaelan Phillips and all of a sudden you got to make a decision, who would you rather have, Jalix Hunt or Nolan Smith long term?
Jalix Hunt.
I'm kind of leaning towards Jalix Hunt right now.
I think you're seeing, at the very least, Jalix Hunt is a very productive player when you got someone on the other side who's still developing.
Yeah, I think he's got a higher ceiling.
Could you say Nolan Smith traded?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I think you could get some good draft capital for him. Someone's going to take a shot on him. It's not like he's a bad player.
No, he's a good player, but there's some injury concerns that everybody was worried about.
So you paying Jaelan Phillips then? I mean, it sounds like you're good for Carter. I feel the same about Carter.
I would pay Jaelan Phillips.
How much? What's your walk?
Oh man, that's a good question. What was the spot track?
15 million.
Yeah, I wish that was the case.
Was it spot track? I don't want to grow. Was it? It might have been PFF. I don't know. But whoever did it, I don't want to blame them. But whoever did it, because I want to get it right, who to blame. I mean, do
you think 3 years? Do you think 3 years, $66 million would do it?
I like that deal. $22 million a year.
Well, then I saw somebody say he might get 30 million. I forget who said that. I can't. There's such.
I don't think it'll be that high.
I don't think it'll be that. Here's my question.
Has the market value for him at 17.3.
All right, a little bit.
Sign me up.
But sign me up for that. Here, what I hear a lot of Maxx Crosby stuff because Garofalo said something somewhere.
I told you that's my bold prediction this offseason. It might not be so bold.
Why would you want Maxx Crosby over besides sacks? So take sacks off the table. Why would you want Maxx Crosby over Jaelan Phillips?
I think that's a fair question, right? I think that's more of a fair question because I wouldn't mind they got either, but I think they want that premier pass rusher.
I don't think other people are willing to take the sacks off the table, John, is where I think you lose.
Sacks. Sacks.
Maxx Crosby does get a lot of pressures too. We have to be fair with Matt. That guy is always around the quarterback.
Oh yeah, he is.
That guy's also, he's only 28, but he's an old 28. I mean, he's been playing.
I think that's what it is. I think they look at the age and.
Well, my big thing is the age, and not the age is the tread off the tire. Like nobody plays more than Maxx Crosby. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good player. He never leaves the field on a shitty team. Never wants to leave. All that is good.
You know how upset he got that the Raiders basically said we're not playing you the rest of the season toward the. He was heartbroken.
I think everybody looks at that and thinks it's a positive. Well, that's great. That's great. What I'm telling you is he's played 7 NFL seasons, and he's been healthy for the most part. He's 12 games. The Raiders never make the playoffs, so you don't have to go past 17. But so here he is: 16 as a rookie, 16 as 16, 2020, 17, 17, 17. Missed a couple games in 2024. He's back at 15. Nobody plays more snaps. He's the Jalen Carter of defensive ends. Never leaves the field. He plays more than Jalen Carter. I just think he's been beat to shit over the past 7 years of his career, and I think he's going to start descending pretty quickly.
But can you get 3 years of him in a window where you might just need 3?
Maybe. Maybe. But why not keep the guy who's 26?
I agree.
Vic loves him. He's played his best football for Vic. Why? Why? And
is Maxx Crosby a Vic player? That's what.
That's another. I don't necessarily think he is. But even beyond that, if you don't want to go to that,
I'll say this, John. Every year, Maxx Crosby's he's really freaking good. Like
928 snaps last year. And the guy never leaves the field.
He's played 94% or more of the snaps in each of the last 4 years, and he would have played more than 94 if the Raiders basically didn't shut him down, which, again, that's leading to his frustrations with him.
I'm good with Jaelan Phillips.
I am too.
Yeah.
If you even take, I just pulled up his PFF grades. He was second in 2021. He was fourth. The last 2 years, he's dropped to 25 and 15. So he's already started a little bit of a descent. And I think it's totally, but how much he's played. I think he's beat up.
Oh, but this is the difference between fan bases in this city. The Phillies bring back Kyle Schwarber, one of their own, for a lot of money, and it's not an addition. I guarantee you if the Eagles bring back Jaelan Phillips, they will consider that an addition and a good re-signing.
The fans?
Yes, the fans.
No.
Why? What did you see? People don't like the Schwarber signing?
No, but they don't like how the Phillies basically brought back their own guy.
Fans never think bringing back your own guy is an addition.
Yeah, but don't complain when you lose them.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's fair, but I'm just saying.
Well, isn't that objectively true? I mean, if you have a team and you have a player that's already on the team and he comes back to return, it's technically not an addition. It's a new contract, but it's not an addition to
I'd rather keep my own guy.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying from the word addition, it's not really an addition.
I'm saying from an executive standpoint, like those guys get pissed off. It's like, well, we kept this guy. You know, you have a certain amount of
contracts. The bigger money does matter.
Yeah,
get that.
Yeah,
they have a certain amount of assets they got to. And nobody looks at bringing a guy back as doing something. That is not
correct. Yeah,
that is not Philadelphia centric. That is sports centric.
Oh yeah, that is sports. It's not just a fan base, but I mean, look, I think the Eagles need to bring back either Jaelan Phillips, or if they can't, then you go get Maxx Crosby. They got to have a premier pass rusher in there. That's why I thought they had a good chance to go back to the Super Bowl, because that defense was getting better week in and week out ever since they traded for Phillips.
But plus, does it sound like Howie gave up a third-round pick for Jaelan Phillips? Does it sound like Howie to then give up a third-round pick and then
to let him walk? Yeah,
let him walk and then send a 1 and a 2, which is the rumor for Maxx Crosby? Does that sound like Howie Roseman?
No.
Plus, he's got to pay Maxx Crosby more than he's got to pay Jaelan Phillips. Did Howie wake up and get replaced by one of the dummies around this league? I don't think so. I'm not buying it.
That sounds like a Les Snead type move. You trade for a guy, you let him walk, and then you trade for another guy.
Yeah.
And to Les Snead, its credit, it does work.
Well, it has worked, you know. Well, those are the guys. Those are the three guys. Howie Schneider now, John Schneider, and Les Snead. Those are the three. Anybody I'm missing?
I think John Lynch deserves to be up there, but he's not on their level.
Yeah, come on. That Trey Lance thing, I'll always hold against them. Even though they recovered, that was brutal. Why are you drafting a quarterback that the offensive guru that everybody loves wants no part of him, and you're trading
you draft him anyway?
Yeah, that's. I can't put him in that category.
Is Elliott Wolf the Patriots GM now?
He is. He's run. I don't know if that's his title. But
yeah, or is he like vice president of football operations or whatever he is?
Yeah, let me look up his title. Yeah, vice president of player personnel and de facto general manager.
I thought he did a good job with them this year. I just don't think that they're elite.
No.
Trying to think the Ravens GM. I'm losing it.
Eric DeCosta.
Yeah, Eric DeCosta. Yeah, he's very good. I almost said Steve Viscai. I'm like, that's the owner.
Yeah. DeCosta's good.
By the way, did you see him just bomb Jamison Hensley during his ESPN shot the other week?
No.
When they hired I'm blanking on the name. Weaver.
Leonard Weaver, defensive coordinator. Anthony Weaver.
Yeah.
Who's Leonard Weaver? He was a good
the Eagles fullback. The only
Leonard. Yeah, Anthony Weaver, who was in Baltimore, left to go to Miami, and now he's back. Yeah. So again, the shuffling of the deck chairs of the NFL is awesome.
Yeah, they fired Harbaugh to hire a Harbaugh guy. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Well, the Bills kind of did that. They fired McDermott just to hire his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Anthony Weaver. He was the assistant head coach in Baltimore under Harbaugh. Then he goes to Miami to be the defensive line coach. Then he went to Miami to be the DC, and then he comes back as the DC. And like you said, that is going to get me. People hate, but you know, what do we say? Why do people think coaches are magicians and they're just going to turn? You know, they're the reason you lose, and they're going to turn it around to be the reason you win. When are people going to figure out it's personnel, Jeff Kerr?
The Ravens do have personnel. I think that's why Minter's there.
Well, they do. They had a bad year for where they should have been. I mean, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, as I usually do. I mean, there's no doubt they had a bad year for what they should have been. And anytime you have Lamar Jackson, But is he at the point where we start talking about him descending? Well, he's not running as much. We always talk about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and what is he now? 29?
He's descending. I would say he's descending.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guess what, Jesse Minner? If you don't have MVP Lamar Jackson,
you're not going to be a good coach.
I mean, if that's where we are, I don't know, maybe he readjusts his thinking. Like, that's part of the thing here with Jalen Hurts. I think the most important thing is, hey, let's get the running game back involved. Let's get the quarterback one impact on the running game. And if he refuses to do that, or the organization has made a decision that won't allow him to do that, I think the Eagles are in freaking trouble.
Oh, and by the way, Jalen Hurts' contract next year, there's no more guarantee money.
Yeah, is he kind of getting an extension
this year, right? Does he still have guaranteed money for this season or no?
This season he does.
This season, I was going to say, yeah, because they'd be redoing that if he didn't have any this year.
Yeah, I think that's where I know, like, people like to get on WIP, but I think that is a fair all-season topic right now.
Well, I don't think this is true with Jalen, but I will say this. And I honestly don't believe that we've reached this with Jalen yet. But I feel like in the beginning of these quarterbacks' careers, like guys like Lamar, Jalen, guys that are Josh Allen, guys that run the ball a lot, everybody's happy to accept that it's a shorter shelf life because of the talent of the player at the given time. We'll worry about that down the line. And then you get down the line, and the shelf life is
all of a sudden you're in year 7, year 8 of this thing.
Exactly. It starts to look like, all right, it's not the same thing anymore. And then people have a hard time accepting that the player might not be the same because the player was so dynamic and great because of his athletic prowess. If that goes away even 10% or 20%, that's a big difference in the NFL. So, I do think that's happening with Lamar. I don't think Jalen's reached that point yet in terms of the age, but maybe he has. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question. That's why I want to see him run the ball more, because did he lose that? If he does, then he kind of loses a significant chunk of his value. But that's one thing. When Jalen was becoming the starter, his biggest strength was, okay, well, yeah, I can't throw. Well, I can run, and you can't stop me. And then he became a dual threat at both. And I don't know. I just don't. If you get those numbers out of Jalen next year, you got a decision to make.
What do you think Sean Mann is going to do, Jeff? Do you think he's just going to come in here and run Kyle Shanahan's scheme and force Jalen to do what he's not been typically adept at? Or do you think he's just going to come in like a good football coach and build around the quarterback?
I think he'll adapt to his quarterback. Yeah, I think he'll adapt to his quarterback.
Isn't that what everybody should be hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Sirianni did it, and Shane Steichen did it year 1. They tried it. Okay, let's see if this works. Well, if this worked, then Jalen played pretty good at the end of 21, and they kind of carried over.
Nobody expected that team to be in the playoffs.
No, they were 4-11-1 the year before. Like, I remember Jalen. Remember, John, we were at the Jets game, and Minshew played. And he had a really good game, and there was like
a great talk
about it.
Great
game. It was phenomenal.
Gardner's so clueless. He went into Nick's office and said, "Hey, what can I do to earn the starting job?" Nick's like,
nothing.
Settle down, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless him, though.
But Jalen came back from that ankle injury and was tremendous the rest of the season.
Yeah. Well, he got pushed by the great Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, that's how that was.
Yeah.
He even got pushed by him the next year.
Then the next game, Gardner was terrible. He had to play again. Who was that against? New Orleans, was it?
Remember, he played well against the Cowboys, and I'm like, okay, well, they got one game. Maybe Jalen will be back. And then he played against New Orleans. He was terrible. Remember, he threw that under. He had that underthrown ball to AJ Brown, and Brown had a 74-yard touchdown out of it. Yeah. That was peak AJ right there.
Yeah, Gardner's got a lot of confidence. I give him that.
I mean, the guy wore an aviator jacket to his press conference in New York. I still have a photo of that. Thought it was awesome.
Gardner Minshew. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, all right, that's an interesting question because a lot of people are hyping up this. Boy, I think it's so silly to talk about what they did with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts and trying to replicate it, because they weren't trying to think what they're doing to replicate. Like, people just make shit up in their heads, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, they did it before. No, they Howie saw the way the market was going for backup quarterbacks, didn't want to pay $5 to $10 million for a
top dollar when you're already paying your starter a lot of money.
Yeah. So he wanted a cost-effective backup. And the proof of this is when Nick Sirianni was interviewing for the job, he was asked, how are you going to fix Carson Wentz? How are you going to get him on the right track?
I thought they were going to keep Carson, but Carson was the one who didn't want to come back.
Exactly. That the Eagles were planning on trying it one more time. That's why Nick was here. That's what the interview was about. That's what Nick believed, it was going to be Carson Wentz. And even really, you mentioned making the playoffs in 2021, which was unexpected. As late as the spring of 2022, they were trying to get Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson to look at them.
Me, Jody, Zander, we spent a lot of time talking about what quarterback they might get.
Yeah.
Or they're interested in getting.
So the point is, the plan was not to push, or what was the word Fowler used, to put some pressure on Carson Wentz. No, nobody's looking to draft a quarterback to put pressure on Jalen Hurts. What they might do, because Tanner McKee's entering the last year, is draft a quarterback to be the cost-effective backup.
Yeah, the developmental quarterback.
Now,
that's what Jalen was here for.
I think it's a pretty crappy quarterback draft, by and large. So I don't see them going like second-round quarterback. Maybe a Ty Simpson if he falls, but I don't know if they like him. I do know they like Garrett Nussmeier, but I don't think Garrett.
They're familiar with Garrett Nussmeier too.
Yeah, I think he's going to get pushed up the board because there are no quarterbacks. And then you start talking about the Carson Becks of the world and the key.
What if the Saints draft Garrett Nussmeier?
Well, yeah. Drew Aller. How about your guy? Where's your guy going? Drew Aller.
Who knows? Like, I still don't know if he's 100%.
I take Drew Aller in the 5th round.
Yeah, definitely. In the 5th round?
Yeah.
Is that where is he going to fall that far?
I don't know.
He might.
I'm just making it up.
Well, wasn't he once upon a time?
Oh, people were talking about him as a.
I literally had Cleveland Browns players at the Eagle scouts at the Eagles camp tell me that Drew Aller, they're going to be at every Penn State game this year.
It is really crazy how fast it can change in college. Like, one day you could think you're going to be a number 1 overall pick, and the whole world's going to fall in your fingertips, and then couple months later, boom, all of a sudden you'll be lucky to be in the 5th round.
I had NFL people tell me, and Nicholas Singleton went to the draft last year, the Chargers were probably going to take him in the 1st round over Omari and Hampton. Like, it's crazy.
Nick Singleton. What is he?
This was last year.
For the 3rd, 4th round?
Well, he broke his ankle at the Senior Bowl.
I'm going to say 3rd, 4th round. But there are, the running back. There's Love. There's the 2 kids from Notre Dame. I forget the other one.
Yeah. I think Jeremiah Love is a Chief.
Boy, that kid is awesome.
Yeah. That's the debate in Kansas City right now. Do you draft Jeremiah Love at 9, or do you draft one of these good pass rushers? Because they need one of them too.
Well, you generally, if you're a bad team, I don't advocate taking a running back. But if you're a good team and you can get somebody like that, man,
that's what they're like. Or do you go the free agent route with some of these running backs and you try to be cost efficient? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Jeremiah Love's really good.
Yeah, I think he's different. Like, I think he's way better.
Where's the right fit for him this year, guys? Because normally you have to get a team that's ready to take a running back. I mean, that doesn't always go that way. The Raiders, you saw.
Look, the Giants took Saquon.
Yeah, and the
Falcons. That didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. He was a good player. But the
Falcons
Falcons took Bijan. Bijan's worked.
You go back to Jahmyr Gibbs, I think was what, the 12th overall pick? Well, that freaking worked.
That
you
worked.
know, and nobody
That
thought
worked.
it would work when they took
You
him.
know what?
Everybody
Even
expected
if the Eagles took Bijan that year, it would have worked here. It just wasn't what they do.
Yeah, it's because we're a good team with a good offensive line. I mean, or have had a good offensive line.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
wouldn't
at
know
the
what,
time,
you wouldn't know what a great receiver Bijan is if he was here.
Yeah, which would be a
know.
problem.
Yeah. But I think he's the best running back since Bijan Robinson, Jeremiah Love. But yeah, I mean, I would not take a running back if you're not ready to win right now. So buyer beware there, because there's nothing you can do. You saw it with Saquon this year. If you're getting, hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're not getting out of neutral. So you got to be careful. It's easier to take an edge rusher. Everybody needs edge rushers. But if I'm a good team, I'd jump at Love, jump at him.
I would too.
Because I think he's the best player in the draft, period, regardless of position.
That was, you know what, John, when I was on with the Chiefs last week, that was the consensus. Like, if you're going pound for pound, who's the best player? And 3 people said Love. No one said Fernando Mendoza, by the way.
No, I think Caleb Downs is really good too.
Caleb
I
Downs
like
is a
him.
beast. Yeah, he's a beast.
Those are my 2 favorite players in the draft: Love and Downs.
Where do you have Proctor?
I think he's good, but if you're really moving, like if you're really going wide zone stretch all the time, like I said to Zander, you really want a 6'7", 360-pound guy, freaking reach blocking all day? I don't know. So it depends what they're going to do. If they're truly going to play this system by hell or high water, then I wouldn't take them. If they're just going to take advantage of the talents of the players, I'd seriously consider them at 23. I think it'd be a perfect pick pre-change for this team because they need a heir apparent to Lane Johnson, and he could start inside and be a Mekhi Becton-like presence inside. I think it would be perfect, but I don't know if it's perfect anymore.
All right, so I'm going to go with my quote-unquote hot take, and it's not a hot take if you know the history. The best player in the draft will probably end up being Carnell Tate.
Well, Ohio State's got a bunch of guys, man.
I don't think that's that crazy. I don't think that's that crazy.
They just produce receivers left and right.
Yeah,
and that is a stud. I mean, if he goes to the right spot, I mean, you see receivers, they can come into the league and dominate quick.
I remember when Seattle drafted Smith the Jigba, I'm like, yeah, he'll be good. He went to Ohio State.
The question is, where's he go? Where's he go?
Yeah.
All college football does is produce receivers now. That's it. That's all they do.
Jordan Tyson's really good.
I saw Dane Brugler from The Athletic had 17 guys in his top 100, 17 receivers in his top 100. 17.
I forgot Denzel Boston's going out this year. I'm just looking at receivers. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you got the Lemon kid from SC. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
You got Boston. You got Tyson. You mentioned. You got Concepcion. I think if the Eagles want a manufactured touch yards after catch guy.
This is how good This is how good this receiver class is. Like, I'm just looking at that big board. Concepcion's 10th on this board. Like,
yeah, Chris
what
Bell.
am I missing here?
Yeah. Omar Cooper from Indiana. People probably
what's the name receiver? Fields.
Malachi Fields. Yeah, he's a big dude though. He's more of a contested. I don't like drafting contested catch guys.
The Branch kid that was at USC and he went to Georgia. I think he's eligible this year.
Yeah, CJ Daniels. So Indiana's got 2, Cooper and Elijah Sarrett. Jeremy Bernard from Zander's Crimson Tide. He's a top pick. Skylar Bell from UConn. Malachi Fields. Chris Brazell from Tennessee. Deion Burks from Oklahoma. Antonio Williams from Clemson. Damn. You can't find a receiver in this NFL, man. You're not doing your homework.
No wonder why people think the Eagles are going to take a receiver in this draft.
So does that mean A.J. Brown's gone? You guys think A.J. Brown's gone for sure? A lot of speculation. You know how fans put everything.
I still don't think he's gone.
They're like spy detectives in the offseason. I get sent this thing in the offseason. A.J. posted that he's got an event and his graphic team put an Eagle jersey on him and it's after the draft, so he's gonna be back. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about, man?
AI is a wonderful drug, Xander.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but do you think AJ
so like last year, I think I was on with you guys. Like I saw a mock draft for the Eagles had taken Luther Burden. I'm like, sign me up for that. I don't care if they have a million receivers. I love Luther Burden in college.
Luther Burden was good last year, man.
Yeah, he
He hit the ground. Yeah. Yeah, to your point about the social media, that was his youth football camp in Allentown. Yeah. I don't think Howie's Howie. I don't think AJ is mixing with the social media people and giving them Eagles jersey instructions.
No.
Call me crazy.
Apparently the caption had "Fly Eagles Fly" or something. I'm like,
I think John and I need to go cover AJ Brown's youth football camp in Allentown, though.
No, I'm not gonna. He has one in Haddonfield. He generally has one in Haddonfield. I go to
AJ
that.
stay around all year. I think he does, doesn't he?
Stays in Jersey, doesn't he?
I thought he did. I mean, I remember last season remember there was made a big deal after the Super Bowl last year when he tweeted out, "Are there any quarterbacks in the area?" And everyone's like, "What about Jalen Hurts?" I'm like,
"Oh, he ain't here. He's in Texas."
In Texas or wherever he wants to be. It's the off season, man. I don't know what.
Well, I know AJ lives in South Jersey. Here, his permanent residence is still in Nashville, but I don't know how often he goes back and forth. He's here a lot, though.
I'll have to ask my Nashville people because they used to see him a lot.
He was in Miami. Somebody caught him, on vacation, giving some kid $500 to buy a PlayStation or whatever. He travels. He's got a lot of money. He'll go back and forth, but he spends a decent amount of time here.
I've actually I've taught the players about this because we like to joke about social media, especially the younger players. They said, "You ever just want to post something just to get people riled up?" I said, "Do you guys do that?" They said, "Sometimes." That's why I try not to take it seriously.
Social media will be the end of us all.
It already is.
Whenever I do, you will never see me on social media. Whenever I do retire, I will not be on.
I love John on social media.
I will not be on X.com anymore.
No.
Xander's barely on X.com.
No, I hate X. I don't go on social media personally. I like YouTube. I'm a YouTube guy. Our business is built on YouTube. I'm a YouTube.
YouTube's great. I love YouTube.
I'm a YouTube first guy.
Yeah, I feel Twitter X is the one that gets the most traction. So
it definitely is for your guys' business.
Yeah.
That's where I scour my news for sure.
But a lot of the content creators, I give them credit. They start a show on YouTube, and look, some of it's very entertaining, whether you're absolutely in the trenches or not. It's entertaining.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you like entertainment, that's your thing.
Jeff, give me one bold prediction that the Eagles do this offseason. And it can be any. Didn't
I give you it last week with Maxx Crosby?
Is that your Max?
Yeah, we just talked about social media. That's like the most common social media.
But I said it before Garofalo did.
Oh, bullshit. I need something bold, Jeff.
I thought it was being bold there. How bold do you want me to go?
That's pretty bold. I'm not taking Krause.
I think paying Jalen Carter would be a bold prediction.
I don't think that's that bold.
I don't think that's bold. I think people expect them to pay Jalen. I think it's bold to say they're not going to pay Jalen Carter. I say wait. Why not?
I think drafting a tight end in the first round would be bold.
I do.
There we go. Kenyon Sadiq.
Because they haven't done it. It's
first pick, number 23 overall, Kenyon Sadiq.
I'm ready for John McMullen to go. The Eagles are going to draft Drew Hour in round 3.
Oh, that'd be great.
I could see it.
I would love that.
I would love that. They can draft.
You get all the Penn State sycophants excited.
Anybody from this Penn State senior class can draft. I'll be in a good mood. for my
Will
business.
they be excited, John? Like, Jeff, you tell me as a Penn State sycophant yourself. I think you are one.
I would
like
call
Drew
myself a
Aller?
Penn State sycophant.
I would. Do you like Drew Aller?
I thought he was kind of disappointing. If I'm wondering.
That's what I mean.
I like the kid personally.
Guys like Drew Aller that much.
Look, Penn State.
Well,
fans,
a lot of people
they're
don't.
insane.
I'll say this: the people that don't like Jalen Hurts will be very excited by that, because there's a lot of people that don't like Jalen Hurts,
which I don't get. I don't know.
I don't get it either, but whatever.
I don't know. I mean, but then again, the Jalen Hurts spectrum, it's like when people caught wind that I said Jalen Hurts shouldn't have been Super Bowl MVP, it should have been Josh Sweat. I got destroyed. I'm like, I defend Jalen Hurts like literally every day.
Oh yeah, they're just as bad. I get destroyed all the time. I hate Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but John, you don't remind me as a Jalen Hurts hater. You just don't,
No.
and I know you.
I talk to John every single day about the Eagles. John is not a hater of anybody. I don't think.
No, he might be a hater of himself.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of self-loathing there.
Well, the only people you like are your dog. They're not even people. You don't like people. You like dogs.
That's true.
I
That is
can't
very
blame
true.
you for that. I can't blame you for that.
Oh,
All right,
I will say this. My nephew's 4 months old, and some of the stuff you say to him, he smiles a lot. I've gotten to smile every time I see Barkley and Jalen Hurts.
there you go. So is that like your sign that Jalen Hurts is a W or what?
I mean, he is a winner.
That's a bold one. Extension for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's a bold one.
That's not coming, I don't think.
I don't think that's coming either. I'm just trying to think of in-house candidates that would be available for.
I don't know. I think
Is it bold to say Landon Dickerson's going to retire?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that's that he is gonna. I think so. I don't think there's any way he's retiring.
I don't see it. I think that was floating in his head, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I think it happens to a lot of players now. I mean, they go through a miserable season. He went through a miserable season injury.
He was not happy this year.
No, and he was. It sucks.
Yeah, and everybody's chirping, so you might have some natural self-doubt that creeps in, about, have I lost it? Should I be playing? Am I too injured to continue? Stuff like that. Am I a liability for? I'm sure all those things.
I mean, I was in the locker room since I got laid off, but I think it was like the week or two before I saw him. I think I was talking to Lane or Cam. It was one of the rare times Lane was talking. I saw Landon, and I just wanted to ask him, you all right? But he did not look all right. You could tell something was bothering him, and it had to be his injuries.
Yeah, he went through a really difficult season, and you guys that are when the season ends, a lot of guys think, do I really want to go through this again? And then they unplug the batteries and take some time, and then they're
Jason Kelsey did that every year.
Yeah. Then then they're like, I don't want to stay at home. I gotta go. I gotta get out.
They stay at home with their wives, and they realize
I gotta get out. I gotta get out. He'll be back. That is my bold prediction. Landon Dickerson will be back, and Lane Johnson will be back as well.
I think Lane will be back too.
Me too. I think so. I think so. We'll find out though. I don't know. Will Chris Cooper get him? It's Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson might be teaching Chris Cooper more than Chris Cooper.
Hey! You want to go? You want to go really bold, Zander? The Eagles draft the wide receiver in the first round.
I like that.
That's bold. Well, then AJ's leaving. That would be bold. The only way they're taking a wide receiver in the first round is AJ's leaving.
Man.
Where's your boy John Dotson going?
Ooh, whoever can give him the most money.
Yeah, but he hasn't put a lot on tape in the last couple of years.
I think he's looking for opportunity.
Yeah,
I think
he knows he's getting a 1 year prove it deal wherever he goes.
Yeah, go find somewhere you can get the ball.
Yeah, whoever
he'll
can
get the ball at some places.
Yeah, I don't think John's a bad player.
I don't either. I think he's a good player. I think he's a little small and undersized, which I think that's his biggest limitations in the league. But I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I'd like to see in an Eagles uniform next year. You want my Penn State take
Yeah.
Katron Allen. I'd take him.
I don't know if I know who that is.
Oh, look him up. He's good. He maximizes his opportunities.
Oh, I know Katron Allen, the running back from Penn. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good one.
They had a good 1-2 punch.
They did.
I think they could use a 1-2 punch.
Notre Dame had a better 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Though.
When Penn State actually relied on that 1-2 punch, it's funny how they were able to win games, even though last year was terrible. No matter who the quarterback was.
Well, now you got Nick Sirianni's best friend, Matt Campbell. So
and they got my boy. Well. They got my boy at quarterback now, Rocco Becht. I'm excited.
Rocco Becht.
I watched so much Iowa State.
Where did he come from? Where did he come from? Rocco.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Oh, he was at Iowa State?
Yeah.
Last year he played with 2 injured shoulders and somehow was able to grind out the year he had. Which
I like Rocco. I like his dad too. His dad is always
Anthony back. Yeah,
Anthony always comes on JAKIB, so I got a lot of love for Anthony.
Yeah. Anthony's a good dude.
He's been on Cilio a bunch. He's good.
Isn't he the head coach of the UFLs or Orlando something? He just moved. He was the St. Louis Battlehawks.
He was the Battlehawks. Is that right?
Yeah. Now he's in Orlando, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know he moved. I knew he was with the Battlehawks for a little bit. That's good.
UFL's unveiling their new uniforms this week, guys.
Are they? That's exciting.
I can't keep track. So is it the UFL now, or because didn't they combine with the XFL? Or
they combined. Yeah, it was the USFL and the XFL, and they combined.
Okay, now they're the UFL.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got it now.
John, no way. I would have kept the XFL.
Me too, John. I liked the XFL. I thought it sounded dope.
You know what? I thought the new USFL was kind of intriguing. Like you took the old names of the teams and they had like you had the Philly Stars, you had the Jersey Generals. It was very nostalgic. It was just they never played in the home market, so you didn't get that experience.
All right, without looking it up, give me the name of the Orlando UFL team.
I don't know. I don't know what their team name is. That's
Orlando. I don't know.
The Orlando Storm.
I should have known that. That sounds like the old freaking arena football team, wasn't there?
They were the Tampa Bay Storm. They were the Tampa Bay Storm.
They were the Tampa Storm. Damn, the old AFL.
You know that's one of my mysteries in life. The city is called Tampa. Why is every sports team Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's
because they don't play in St. Petersburg. Well, the Rays play in St. Petersburg, but.
Yeah,
I think they play in St. Petersburg. I can remember. It's
no, they did. Yeah, the Tropicana field was. And the roof got blown off in the
they
hurricane.
Fixed it.
Did they fix it? No, they were playing at the. They were playing at the Yankees training
spring training complex last year.
Yeah, I think
they had all their home games done before August. At least that's what it felt like.
Are they playing there this year, or is that?
No, they're back in the Trop.
They are?
Ooh, yeah, wow. They fixed it.
I thought they were going to trash
But they're getting a new stadium in a couple years.
Yeah. All right. Good for the Tampa Bay Rays. You get a lot of knowledge here. Multiple sports, UFL talk, Orlando Storm, St. Louis.
Hey, John, I know your favorite talk right now, uniforms. Did you see the logo got leaked for the Titans?
Wait, what are they talking about? New unis?
Titans are basically going back to Oilers colors.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, really?
Amy Adams Strunk is obsessed with the Oilers, the team she took away from Houston.
Oh, my. Greatest.
I kind of thought the multiple blues was kind of a cool look.
I did. You know what? The Titans' first uniforms, the year they went to the Super Bowl when they changed, they were awesome. And then they went to that Nike thing, and I'm like, man,
Houston Oilers have the greatest fight song in NFL history.
They do have a great fight song.
In my opinion. Second greatest song, sports song ever. Can you give me number one? It's local.
It's not Fly Eagles Fly.
No, that's if
I would it be your Westchester Golden Rams fight song?
No. I don't even know what that is.
Sixers song?
Yes, the Sixers song.
Oh, the Sixers song's great. That's the best part going to a Sixers game.
Phenomenal. The fact that The fact that they took it away for so many years before bringing it was an abomination. Houston Oilers song was phenomenal. And now it's the Houston Texans. Man, the Oilers are so much better than the Texans.
Yeah.
Why not just keep the name?
Well, they couldn't keep it. They couldn't keep the name. They tried to get the name back, and Adams wouldn't give it up.
I know. It's like, come on. If you're going to
like
move,
he has such a vendetta over Houston. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then you actually bring back the Oilers throwbacks against Houston. What a slap in the face.
Stupid.
Like
they did it right. At least when Cleveland went to Baltimore, they kept the Browns in Cleveland.
Wasn't there like a handshake deal on that?
Yeah. That's what they should always do.
Well, the NFL promised Cleveland they get another team, right? They would get them back, or was that like the deal?
Yeah. It was known pretty quickly they were getting it was coming back.
And they haven't been the same since. Or never changed.
No, they've never. Well, you got to go back to Jim Brown pretty much. Not quite. They were good.
Did you guys see the Commanders are basically going back to their old unis, their old unis, their old name unis?
No. The Redskins. We can say Redskins. We're not.
Yeah. Can we say it? Okay.
We're not delicate babies here.
I'm trained at CBS to not say that name.
Yeah. we don't have.
They told me. I got in trouble for that. I'm like, well, wasn't that their name?
Jeff, we don't have those
sensibilities. Yeah, the delicate sensibilities. It was their nickname, so I call them their nickname.
Oh man, come on! CBS doesn't let you say Redskin. Come on.
No, they wouldn't let us do it. We had to do Washington.
I mean,
we had to say Washington. Yeah.
Well, I heard Josh Harris was going to try to bring it back, but I don't know.
They kind of teased it, if you read through the tea leaves on social media with their graphic, like next season it changes, and everybody's like, "Oh, they mean the team." I'm like, "No, they don't." If you look at the uniforms,
guys, they're an interesting team this year. Like they had that good year, obviously, where they lost in the NFC Championship game. Then they came back to earth completely. Looked like the Commanders again. What is your outlook on that team this upcoming year? I asked both of you that. John, you had them winning the East last year. Man, that was the only thing I think I was adamant against you.
Well, I was betting on history, 2 decades.
Yeah,
plus.
I get it.
And they were the best team. It was clear to me, they had a bunch of injuries. They'll bounce back. The question is Jaden Daniels has got to play 17 games.
Yeah.
And then they'll be.
Yeah, he's got to be healthy.
They'll be at the floor will be like 500 or 8-9. Nobody's 500, 8 or 9 wins. And then depends on, what your decisions are in the offseason for the rest of the personnel. But
that's why I love quarterback rankings too. Like some people still have Jaden Daniels in their top 5. I'm like, where in God's green earth is Jaden Daniels a top 5 quarterback last season?
Well, you could say top 5 talent, but you can't say top 5 quarterback. It depends on your definition. So I assume the people who say that are saying top 5 talent, which I would agree with. But certainly,
I would agree with too. But like, if you're going just based off last year, no way.
No, he barely played. How many games he played last year?
I don't even know if he played 6 games. If he did, I was shocked.
Yeah. So I mean, if Drake May, to use the example of them, if he plays 6 games, I don't think New England's having a good season next year.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I just think part of the reason that they had so many injuries is because they decided to hire,
Well, they signed a bunch of old people too.
Yeah,
he started
7 games he played.
That's why I couldn't get on board with what they did. I'm like, you got a young quarterback who literally just had a rarefied air type of season. And you give yourself,
and you had the oldest roster in the league.
You signed a bunch of old, like that to me was a bad GMing offseason. Like, get younger. The young teams in the league win. I mean, that's what you got to do. I just didn't like the way they approached it. After Jaden Daniels, amazing story.
And it really was bad when they signed like Von Miller. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're old and you're getting older. Like,
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Like Tunzel was a good trade for them, but he was still an older player.
Yeah, they're very old.
Band-Aid. I mean, that's a quick Band-Aid. That's like one of the kids' Band-Aids you use.
That they didn't belong. It's similar to it. I always say you got to be very honest with yourself. And they were not an NFC championship team. They had some breaks along the way, and they took advantage of them. They did not belong in that game with the Eagles. They didn't, and they proved it. In that NFC chat, they skipped steps almost, and they got caught up in, wow, look at how close we are, and they weren't really that close.
Yeah. And the NFC's open, and we're going for it. Well,
yeah.
No, really, the closer team was Seattle, who didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing with New England this year. Like if they say, look at how close. Look, they would have got waxed, and I'm not even a Bo Nix fan. They would have got waxed by Denver if,
Seattle, Denver would have been a much better Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. If Jarrett Stidham wasn't the starting quarterback. So they did not belong in that game, and they proved it. They didn't belong in that game.
That's where I feel bad for Denver because, like you said, John, they took those steps, right? Peyton tore it down, build it back up. They make the playoffs last year, got destroyed. They get the 1 seed, and their quarterback gets hurt. And they win a big game against Buffalo. And it's like, well, that sucks. They still should have won the championship game.
Toughest thing to do is be honest with yourself in the NFL.
Yeah. Isn't that in real life?
Well, partially.
Yeah, that is well true, Jeff, in real life. All right, brother, we appreciate it, Jeff. Good long segment today, man. We appreciate you joining in. As we get deeper into the offseason here, we now have the franchise tag windows opening up. We got the combine starting next week. It's draft. It's off-season time, Jeff. Lot coming up in Eagle Land, so we're looking forward to talking to you each
Combine's
week.
Next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it starts next Monday. We'll be talking to you next Monday. It'll be
Underwear Olympics. Oh, he ran a 4.4. Oh, my Lord.
You know who's going to be the Combine darling? Who was going to be the Combine darling? Nicholas Singleton. As someone who's seen the guy run 40s.
You're so right. Nick Singleton.
He was going to be the Combine darling.
Jeff, you know where I met Nick Singleton? At the
Maxwell's?
Yep. When we produced the Maxwell, and I think he was the high school player of the year.
He was high school player of the year that year.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you met him before.
I met him there, and he was, let me tell you what, he was a humble, good dude. Shook my hand, polite, thanked me for anything I did for him, asked me. Yeah, he's very.
That's how he's been since I know him.
But yeah, I appreciate it. So.
And it's weird. Like good games, same attitude. Bad games, same attitude.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely a good dude. We'll see what he's able to do. Jeff, good show, man. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you next Monday when the combines are kicking off, brother. We appreciate it.
Yep, Underwear Olympics.
We'll talk to you about small hands next week.
And small arms. Who's this year's Will Campbell?
Arm length, yeah. Arm length, small hands.
Was Bo Nix the small hand guy? Who was the small hand guy?
You're going to hear length. Ruben Bain's going to be the length guy. He doesn't have the arm length to be, he's a top 5 pick from a production standpoint, but he doesn't have the arm length. That's Ruben Bain's going to be that guy.
I agree. We'll see. All right, Jeff, good stuff, man. We'll talk to you next week. All right, brother.
All right, see you guys.
All right,
see you, Jeff.
There's Jeff Kerr joining us right here on Bird.